Alright, hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at the various ways to use various things like markers, Sharpies, the jelly pens, regular old pen, Prismacolor colored pencils, and a number 2 pencil to shade and layer. So the first thing we're going to do is do pencil over marker. Number 2 pencil over marker. So if I take this marker, and we just go in here, just like that. I'm going to show you how to do this. Now, paper I'm using is this. This is a mixed media. It's not bad. It's pretty thick paper, which is nice. But it really makes for these to blend pretty easy. And these you can just get off of Amazon. So now that this is dry, now we can take our number 2 pencil and let's look at how we do this. So just going to take this back and forth. And what's nice about this is if you ever did a drawing or want to do a drawing with marker and then go over in pencil, it really makes for a very unique looking drawing. I'll show you what I mean here when we get this shaded. So what I'm doing is, this pencil is not too sharp and not too dull. Okay? We're just going to lay this in a few different layers here, and as you can see it's starting to transition. And we just go down towards the bottom. And I lighten the pressure as I go down to the bottom. Because we'll just go from dark to light. So again, I'm not going to the edge there to fill it in completely, but just wanted to show you what you can do here with just a number 2 pencil. And then you could take your finger and rub that as well. But you see that, a nice transition from dark to light. Now, if you wanted, you could take I have a 9B pencil. Is you could take this 9B, which is a softer lead and it's darker. You could actually come in here and make this even more of a transition if you wanted. See that? You just keep layering it in. That's all. So that'll give you a nice look. Now, what about colored pencil over marker? So if we take this same marker and we do this, fill this in. Alright, let's let that dry a second. And then let's take our Prismacolor brown, right? And I'm using a very flat, it looks like that, so the paper, it's going to be on the paper like that. If I take that and I start coming in here like this, same way, this makes for a really nice look as well. Color pencil over marker. And what you do is you just keep going back and layering it. I'm not pressing hard. You know, as I'm sure you know, paper has teeth. So paper's not exactly smooth. It has teeth like this. So if I'm using the flat side, I'm kind of skimming across the top. That's why you still see the yellow through. If I were to use this point, which I'll show you in a second, you'll fill in more of the white. But the more I go over like this, the more I'm going to fill in, but I'm limited. But I want to show you that you can really get some nice, you know, I've done some superhero drawings in the past, and this was the style. It was colored pencil over marker. You can go like this and keep going, and then what you can do is if you turn this, you can start to see how that's starting to fill in. Not pressing any harder, I'm just using the point. Then you could keep going and blend this. Now I'm going back and forth, I'm using a back and forth motion. But now, number 2 pencil shading. Okay, this is where you can use a dull pencil, I prefer. Just regular old number 2. I'm going to go the whole way down. that? Now I'm just going to start back up here and do the same thing. I'm not pressing hard. I'm just layering in more pencil, filling in more of the teeth, so to speak, right? Come back up here. You can only get so dark with this. You can make some really nice drawings with just a number 2 pencil, but you can only get so dark. Now I can press harder up here, and I'm going to start damaging the paper. You don't want to do that. What I did was I turned my pencil just a little bit more on the sharp end. I'm just going to layer in some more. Now I could stay here for 5 minutes and do this, but trust me, it's only going to get so dark. You can come up here and add some more. But what you do, and I'm going to do just the 9B pencil over here, but you could actually come in here, because there's so many of these, it's a whole range. I'm not going to get into all that, but you could come in here now with this. And this is going to, I'm pressing the same amount, but see how it's giving you a darker value here, darker shading. And there's even higher up than 9B, but I just wanted to show you a darker, so you see that. So you can get in there, you can even come in here with this and do that, blend it if you want with your finger or a blending stone. But then if we just look at the 9B, you can see how initially it's darker, see that, than what we did with the number 2. See that? And you can come in here and just keep layering this, just like this, till you get the desired transition from dark to light. Just keep going. See that? You just keep going back up to the top where you want the dark area. Just keep going down. You take your time. Now you could turn, remember this. I can take that point now, start filling in more of this white. See that? Watch. There you go. See that? Depends on what you're looking for. If you want a little bit of texture, keep the pencil flat. If you want to fill in more of the white, of the teeth, then feel free to rotate your pencil. I would suggest doing both. Okay? Now what about colored pencil only? Okay? So if we did, let's say we just did brown and black. So let's just color this in brown, right? And we'll do one more pass up here. We'll try to get this to a decent transition, but I'm not going to go over it too much up there. So I want to leave. If you get, you can press real hard like that, but then you're not going to be able to put anything on top of that to blend it. So what we want to do is do it gradually. So I'm going to take my black now, the real light, and I'm going to start blending this. See that? Kind of like we did here, but it was yellow. So if this, instead of yellow, if I would have made that brown, and we come in with the black, it looks something like this. This is just on a larger scale. So you see that? You can mix. Now you can take Crayola. This is Prismacolor, they're a little softer. You can take Crayola markers and do it, or color pencils and do it. They're just a little harder, so they're gonna, the colors sometimes are not as vibrant, so it depends on what you're going for, but you can make some really nice pieces with, you know, the less expensive Crayola. So you can do it like that. You can come in here with the point again, remember this. Or, you can come in with the point, and you can start filling in some of that white, those white spots if you want. It's totally up to you. It depends on what you're going for. Now, what about pen over marker? So we're going to take this same yellow. See that? All right. Pen over marker. Now, how about a regular old pen? What can we do? Well, this is a style of hatching, I call it. So if we just, now I'm going like this. I'm not going back and forth. I'm starting here every time I'm starting over here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do this. You may have seen one of my shorts where I did this, but it really takes a little more time to get this to transition nicely. But I want to show you what you can do here. This can look really neat. And again, it just depends on what you're going for. I remember drawing a hawk where I used a little bit of hatching. I'll show you a little example. In fact, I have a video on it. If you want to check it out, it's where I use these markers for the first time. You can actually start to get some really nice transitions, as you can see. Now, could you go back and forth? Sure. Sure you could. You could go back and forth. Let's try it. I feel like I want to go one way, this way sometimes, just depends. But you can, what I would do is, if you're new to this, just experiment. See what works for you. Now you could even, I didn't do it, but you could even do some marker over top of this pen then, or pencil, if you wanted a more of a transition. Now you could even come in here and start doing some of this cross hatching if you wanted, kind of like the comic books. You see that? See that? You could do whatever you want. So it just depends on what you're going for, you know? All right, now what about pen over colored pencil? Okay, so let's go back here and let's try, tell you what, let's try a light green. Let's try that. Let's just go ahead and color this like this. And we can shade a little bit here. Let's try it. We'll do a little bit. Alright, so we're just transitioning from dark to light. Now what you can do is you could come in here with the black as well. Okay. I'm just gonna do a little bit here. And I'll show you something else I just thought of that we can do. So if we have a nice transition here, or at least the start, right? You see that? Now we can take our regular pen and you can do all kinds of things. I mean, you could come in here and maybe this is maybe a wing, you know, of an insect or something, right? You know how they have those little, maybe some cracks in something. See that? You can make these little, look at that. It's pretty neat. You can do that. Or you come in here like this with this jelly pen. I just tried this for the first time the other day. Come in here and add some little white lines too. See that? You can do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I mean, you can really get some detail with that. Now what about pen? Just pen. Well, it's going to be like this. So I'll show you what it looks like. Just keep going back and forth until you get the desired transition. I mean, a lot of people do draw with just pen. It just depends what you want to, what you're going for, right? Now, I'll go back and forth if you want. We'll save a little time. See that? So this is one direction right here. All right, back up here. We'll do it again. And I have about the same amount of pressure as if you would be writing your name. I'm not pressing real hard. So you see that? I stayed a little long there, but that's all right. So we can, you know, as you get to the top here, you're gonna fill it in completely. See that? And you're gonna come down like this. And if you would continue to do this, you could really get it to look nice. You could really make some nice pieces with just pen. Now I've also mixed pen and pencil, which I'll show you. So see, that's pen only. So what if you just drew with this pen, right? Let's say you did the same thing. This is getting a little dull. Let's use this one before we wrap this up. Let's say we did the same thing up here, right? And you wanted to then do pencil. See this? No, this is just a number 2 pencil. That's all this is. You know, if you want to practice shading, this is one of the easiest ways. I think it's one of the best ways to learn, because it's a very simple 3 lines, and then it's very simple shading. You just keep pulling your pencil down like this, and you could even go back and forth, and as you go this way, you're pulling more off the paper. So see, you can get some really nice transition with just a number 2 pencil. However, if we come back in here, lastly, with the 9B, that's when you can get even more. See that? Boy, drawing's fun. And you can even do that. I mean, this could be some rocks or something, right? See that? You could put a little, it could be their shadow, right? So there's a lot that you can do. So hopefully you enjoyed this. I would practice with these various types of shading techniques and mediums and just see what you like best. Until next time, have a great day.